Welcome to Inside the 18. I'm Michael Magid, live from Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. We did it, everybody. We finished up Keeper Wars. Everybody give a round of applause. We finished it up. There's a bunch of people watching us right over here. We have a bunch of people joining me right over here. Some of them look terrified to be near me. Some of them look like they're excited to be doing this. Guys, if you're wondering what the heck is going on right here, we just finished up the Keeper Wars over at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy in lovely Midlothian, Virginia. And joining me to talk a little bit about the leadership program over at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy, we've got a bunch of young professional aspiring goalkeepers. So why doesn't everybody start from the left all the way all down to the right over here? And since this is mirrored, that's right to the left for you guys who are watching right there at home. Start out.
Hi, my name's Eli Johnson.
I'm Mitch Palmgren.
I'm Michael Sondor.
Okay.
I'm Mia Johnson.
Yeah, very, very awesome. And I love how succinct you guys were. Like, this is my name, and that is all I'm going to give you. Not giving any more information, not giving my social security number. I am not giving my driver's license number. You don't know who I am. I could be doing identity theft. I completely get it. So guys, obviously you guys are involved at the Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. By the way, guys, this is not an interview show. So you don't have to wait for me to ask you questions. You guys can chime in anytime you want. So whoever wants to step in right here, tell us a little bit about the leadership program over at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. Whoever wants to start.
Okay, so we kind of just like help coordinate against or for the all like projects that the Richmond Goalkeeping Academy does, and most of the time it's just like the players who are like helping other players, and that's kind of what we do to help out and step up and like take the role of like helping everybody that's new to the academy and everything.
That's awesome, man, because like I think the thing is, obviously it's one thing for like coaches to be giving, and by the way, guys, camera's out there, so if you guys can cheat a little bit more towards camera, that'd be cool. This is only going live to like hundreds of thousands of people. It's totally fine, guys. You guys are doing great. But it's one thing for like coaches to give like, mentor advice. It's another thing for players who are going through the process themselves to give it to other people, right? Yeah. Whoever wants to step in. So, anybody want to add on?
Really, a lot of what we do is helping the younger people in the academy get comfortable and help them ease into goalkeeping. Okay. Because a lot of them are new to goalkeeping. So just helping them go through and get better.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the most difficult things, obviously you all remember when you first came into a goalkeeping environment. How scary was that? Because like it was like completely brand new to you, right?
Yeah, I would agree 100%. When I came in, it was rough because obviously I was weak in technique, weak in communication, weak in leadership, and coming to Richmond Goalkeeping, it's really helped build my confidence, my communication, leadership, and all that. And then getting the chance to be on the leadership team, it's really like shown me like, yes, I can be a leader, I can do this, and it's really inspirational. And I think it's really nice that we can help younger people. Yeah.
Now, Mike, I saw you all over the place today doing so many different things, not just helping out but young goalkeepers, but actually helping out the volunteers as well too, helping out staff and everything like that. So talk a little bit about why you get involved in that aspect as well.
Well, I knew I volunteered to like be here for the beginning and the end, so I knew I was gonna have to like do something to help them, while I waited, because like the playoffs had a lot of time in between them. Yeah. So I just thought it would be helpful to like, go and just see whatever I could do the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, and that's sometimes the thing is like, sometimes leadership is not about like waiting for somebody to give you a task. Sometimes it's about you like recognizing like a task isn't going on. Like when you're organizing your back line, it's not about like, oh, okay, something just happened, now I need to fix it. It's like, oh, wait a second, somebody there hasn't even made their assignment yet. They're not even aware. I need to step in and help that out. But how do we do that in a way, like when we're on the field, where we don't come across as abrasive to the players, but they actually listen to us? Like, any thoughts on that, Eli?
Just using the right words and being constructive, using names, and just being specific overall. Yeah. And just don't shout random things.
Yeah. Anything you want to add there?
Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, like your teammates should be like trusting you, and everything that you say, they like, you should like also respect what they say, so that way they respect what you're saying like in the game, so that way everyone just like is on the same page throughout. all your games.
And you know, and I think so one of the things that Amanda talked about in regards to like the Richmond Goalkeeping Academy and taking a leadership position, a lot of times, you know, it's about putting yourself in an uncomfortable place, right? You know, like going in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a live podcast after you've just been helping out and playing in a Keeper Wars tournament, you know, uncomfortable situations like that. So some of you guys, from what I've heard, like you came into this academy and you were a little bit more of introverts. You know, how has the process here helped you kind of, I don't want to say come out of your shell, because that would be, you know, be saying that you've been hiding, but feel more comfortable being assertive and speaking your mind and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it started with Amanda. She's very open. She's very honest. She makes it a comfortable environment to be in. And rather if it's individual, if you're training with someone else or training with a group, it's like everyone is very comfortable with each other. And I feel like we work together like as a team, not just separate individual people working on separate individual things. Like we all work together to get better at one thing.
So does that mean that you guys all collaborate as leadership people in the academy with each other to kind of, you know, figure out like what's the game plan?
Yes.
Okay. But you know, like one of the things I found a lot of times with that is like, you know, it's always like, oh, it's this player because they're going to this school and blah, blah, blah. So now they're the leader. And it seems like at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy, you all come from different walks of life. You're all at different points in your journey as goalkeepers. You know, why is it so important for it to be like a diverse group of goalkeepers who are, you know, at different places? You know, Mike, you want to talk about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's good because like you can have different like challenges between like the more the people there are, you know, you can have better opportunities to get better and like challenge yourself. Whereas it's like if there's people just at your skill level, I mean, not like at your skill, like different people.
Yeah.
Then, you know, it just allows you to get better.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I think one of the things too is that like everybody, all these young goalkeepers can see all of you, you know, leaders and say, hey, you know what? I'm in a different position in my journey as so-and-so, but so-and-so kind of resonates with me more because I kind of feel like they were where I was, you know? And so like, I think it's important that the players have a thing, and there's nothing wrong, right, with like, you know, a young goalkeeper being like, hey, I'm kind of vibing so-and-so as a mentor more than somebody else, you know, not like, ignore that person type of thing, but like, hey, I dig this person, you know? Like, have you guys had that happen with a young goalkeeper?
Yeah, over the summer I got to like help coach a lot during different soccer camps, and I enjoyed like just being there and helping like a small group of goalkeepers just start their like careers as trying to be as good as they can at soccer and helping build their confidence.
Yeah. Eli, what about yourself?
I think me personally, over the summer, I also had some time to mentor some children, and it was really fun to talk to them and understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And just help them get better as a player and a person overall.
So what do you guys feel like, you know, and I apologize, everybody's names again?
I'm Mia.
Okay, so Mia, what would you say is like the number one issue young goalkeepers have when they first come into an academy environment?
I don't know. I think they're just really introverted and they feel like they can't speak up and do certain things. They feel like they're not like if they're newer, they feel like they shouldn't have a say in anything maybe yet.
Yeah.
As of like older people or people more experienced, but that's just not the case. Like you can ask for help, you can ask for corrections at any point. Like it doesn't matter if you're like it's your day one or day one, like 365. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. And like I try to tell that to young players all the time. Is like, you know, I could learn something from you. I could learn something from you. I could learn something from you. Even you, Mike, I could learn something from. No, I'm totally kidding. But it's true. Like for any of us to be humble and recognize that, like, you might see something I didn't see, and just because I've been coaching longer or playing longer doesn't mean that that I know everything. And I think it's really important to be open-minded like that. So I love that aspect of the community. Now, what else do you guys do outside of Richmond Goalkeeping Academy to help build those leadership skills? Like Eli, anything?
Me, yeah. I like to wear the sweatshirts that Coach Amanda wears. I mean, makes. There's a few sweatshirts that I really like. A few of them that aren't the best, but I just like repping the brand. It's really fun, and people ask about it. I can tell them where I got it from. I can tell them about the academy, and it's just it's really fun telling people about how great this academy is. So that's
I feel like I feel like there's a lot of love here about the academy, which I think is amazing. But I also I'm kind of wondering is are do any of you guys do leadership things at school or extracurricular activities that have to do with helping out in group projects or anything like that?
Yeah, a lot of the people here play sports year round, and they're multi-sport athletes, so it's not just soccer.
Yeah.
So getting experience in other sports, I feel helps everybody become well-rounded, because different sports have different styles of being a team, and so just having the different aspects helps bring it to an academy where it's not people are playing together as a team, but they're still working together to get better.
Yeah. Now, Mike, how's an academy experience helped you outside of soccer, out in the classroom or anything like that? Has this helped you academically, but the kind of the discipline and the structure of this academy?
Yeah, I was about to say the discipline here is you have to say yes coach, no coach, you have to say coach with it. So
by the way, that took me a second to because it was a little jarring at first, because I said I was just yes coach, and I was what did I do wrong? This person was but I understand in regards to the fact of the eye contact and the being direct type of thing, because I'll be honest, even for me that's sometimes uncomfortable, especially with a new person. Yeah. Mia, what about yourself? Academically, has this helped you at all?
Yeah, of course. So in my school, we have a beta program. We have an NHS program. So I've been actively volunteering in those. I feel there's a lot of people in the leadership team and in RGA that do that. And it really, being in the leadership team and being at RGA really helps boost your confidence. It helps you become a better leader for beta and for NHS. And it really helps you lead other people at those things if you have somebody else there that's more of an introvert.
Yeah.
So I feel that really helps too.
Yeah. And then the kind of last thing I wanted to, because I don't want to take up all your guys' time. I know it's been a long day for all of us. I'm guessing, how much sleep has everybody gotten here? A few hours? Not much. It's been a long couple days. So just kind of as we're kind of wrapping up, do you guys have any advice for any young goalkeepers out there who are listening to this, just beginning their journey on what they should expect, what they should focus on, some little specific bullet points that have helped you along the way?
We always at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy, everyone knows that you have ups and downs when you're going through any sport. But just self-talk is a really big emphasis on things that we do. Whenever you make a mistake, you gotta take a second, step back and close your eyes and just talk to yourself about how you're gonna bounce back, and that you can do that, because everyone can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Eli, what about yourself?
You have to make mistakes to learn, and at first a lot of people told me that, and I didn't really believe in it, but my crosses, my handling is a big thing for me, because when I first joined RGA in the academy, my handling was not very good.
Yeah.
I couldn't really catch anything. But as I made more mistakes and as I got more feedback, it really, really got better. And now it's one of my strongest points.
Dude, that's amazing. That's so cool how something that you're I really for instance, for me, my weak foot is something that is it's the bane of my existence, right? But to take a weakness and turn it into actually a strength, because you've put that much emphasis into it, and that confidence that it builds, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, is just amazing. Mike, what about you? Yeah. And then we'll finish off with Mia.
Just stick with it. If you're really wanting to go through this, just stick with it. Because I wasn't always the best, but I kept going to RGA. I kept doing all this stuff with her, Coach Amanda, and it just built me up. And now I think I'm pretty good now. I can handle myself now. So just stay with it.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just mentality. Yes, being good technically is always very good and it makes you look good, but I think your mentality is what really sets you apart from everybody. I think if you're technically good, but you make one mistake, you get in your head and it messes you up. And I've had that problem before, and Coach Amanda's really helped me with that. So if I let something go, or I don't catch it and hold it, I just let it go and be a goldfish and forget it. and my mentality's really gotten better since coming here.
The goldfish thing, that's the toughest thing. I don't know about you guys, but I go through the post goal dance where I start walking through my steps. You know, the ball's up the field, and I'm just like, this should have been here and there and everything like that. And you know, once you start being comfortable with recognizing that goals are going to get scored, you know, I think a lot of young goalkeepers don't realize, it's like goals are going to be scored, and you're just going to have to learn to deal with it. Because if goals never got scored, it'd be kind of a boring game. And then, you know, something I said with the parents earlier, and you know, I want, obviously, you know, you guys can attest for this with the young goalkeepers out there, is that like, if the ball even gets to you on defense, there was a breakdown somewhere. So never feel like it's your job to keep the ball out of the net. It's a team effort to keep the ball out of the net, right? Just like a team effort to score. Well, awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Usually this is the time on the show where I say, is there anything you guys want to plug, like your own clinics, your own camps, your own e-courses or anything like that? But I'm guessing you guys are earlier on in your journey right now in coaching, so you're probably not there right now. Obviously, guys, you can reach out to us, contact at insidethe18media.com if you have a guest suggestion or a topic suggestion, or at Goalkeeper Podcast on the Union app. If you're not on the Union app, you'll find out all that information in the show notes. Shout out to Richmond Goalkeeping Academy for having us out, and give yourselves a round of applause for coming on. Honestly, it's not easy to come on like with an idiot like myself who looks like Neo from the Matrix, because he's got these sunglasses on right now because of the sun glaring right into his eyes, and do this type of thing on the spot. So I really appreciate you guys. I think that shows leadership and courage as well. That's all the time on Inside the 18, and we are out. Later, guys. All right. Hey guys, if you're on live right now, we are just taking a little break. We're going to be switching in some other goalkeepers, so give us a second here. Test, mic check. Wait, I got it right here. Okay, cool. All right. Hey guys, step on in. Cool. All right, let's grab you guys some microphones here. Boom. Grab you guys some microphones here. If anybody wants to wear headphones, feel free to put them on. Get some levels there. You're good? All right. Test, mic check 1, 2. Can you guys give me levels?
Hello?
Cool.
Hello?
So key is with the microphone, keep it under your chin, so that way make sure you get audio. If you go down too far, you're not going to get the audio, especially when it's loud, like this sort of thing. So first off, what are your guys' names?
Carter.
Rachel.
Sarah.
Bella.
Okay. Bella, Sarah, Rachel, and Carter. Oh my gosh, I just did that. I'm very proud of myself. That's amazing. All right, guys, let's get this going here. Welcome back to Inside the 18. I'm Michael Magid, once more from Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. If you're wondering, did all the goalkeepers you just have on earlier go into costume of some sort? Is this like a cosplay situation? No, this is another group of leadership goalkeepers over here at the Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. So we're going to start off from right to left. Just say a little bit about yourself and how you're involved in the academy.
My name's Carter. I'm a goalkeeper at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy, and
that's that. All right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Very good. Okay. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. All right. Continue.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I've been with RGA for about 4 years now. I've been goalkeeping for pretty much my whole life, so this is
Nice. Awesome. And Sarah?
I'm Sarah. I've been with RGA for around 6 years, and I'm on the leadership team.
I like the way you said that too. Like, I'm on leadership team, as if it's like, this is my job. I expect you all to respect it, treat it with the honor that it deserves. And Bella.
Hi, I'm Bella. I've been with RGA for about 3 years now, and I've been playing keeper for about 5 years.
Okay. So, Bella, we're going to start with you because you have the microphone right here. And by the way, guys, feel free to step in anytime. Just chat it up. Like, you don't need to wait for me to ask you a question. If like something comes to your mind, you're like, I really want to bring this up. Bella, why did you get involved in leadership here?
I got involved with the leadership team and trying to like give back to the RGA community just because of everything that Amanda has done for me. When I first came to RGA, like I was really bad at staying in my head and really getting down on myself and just putting myself down, and then I'd mess up over and over again. And Amanda really helped bring me out of my shell, and I just wanted to be able to do that for the new keepers coming into RGA.
Okay, so I'm going to say straight up, you were in a shell because you're literally looking eyeline at the camera as if you're like on CBS Sports right now. Okay, so I never believed that you were ever an introvert in any way whatsoever.
I blame Amanda for not blame Amanda, but I thank Amanda for helping me being able to eyeline this camera right here and not be afraid to.
That's incredible. Now Carter, we're going to start with you over there, and then we'll get to the people right here next to me right here. But you know, you've got a little bit of a history, obviously, here at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. Like, did you start out as in a leadership position here, or was that something that you kind of grew into?
No, I grew into it, definitely.
Okay.
I did not. When I joined RGA, I wasn't the best goalkeeper, and training with Amanda really helped with everything overall, and especially what Bella said about staying in my head. Yeah. Amanda really helps with that.
That's awesome. I mean, I think, you know, that's one of the things, you know, Sarah, in regards to like leadership is like so many young goalkeepers are in a position where they're in their head, especially in a new environment like a goalkeeping academy. Like, how can you help them as a leader?
As a leader, I mean, you can just encourage them. You can give them encouraging words. You can give them advice on how to play, and just really just be there for them. That's
so important, is like just being there for them. Like, Rachel, do you have like any like young goalkeepers? You don't need to like put them on blast on the air or anything, but that like you've like kind of taken under your wing, and like, you know, you always check in with them, making sure everything's going well.
Yeah, a lot of my club, when we had goalkeeper training, I would always go early and always just hang out with them, ask them if they had any games, what was the score, what was one thing they could get better at, and they always be like, okay, I got this, and they shoot their hands up so quick.
I mean, that's really cool. But, you know, I think it's really important for young goalkeepers to recognize that there's people out there looking out for them that aren't just coaches and parents. Because honestly, like, I'll be straight up honest, like, I could say something, a parent could say something, and sometimes it becomes like white noise because it's like, okay, it's another adult telling me something. But when it's coming from a peer that's kind of been there, Bella, right? It's like a totally different like feeling, right? It's a total different sense.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You can elaborate if you want.
I know, like, when I first came to RGA, I was really shy, really timid, and like anything anyone would tell me, like, even if like an older peer would tell me something, I'd be like, yeah, thank you, and then I'd kind of like run away and like, oh, I don't want to say anything. But like, as I've grown into the community and as I've like become more involved in RGA, like the feedback is really beneficial, as well as helping the younger kids with feedback.
You know, one thing, you know, I was just thinking about this, like, you know, Sarah, is that like a lot of like young goalkeepers are kind of going through like that kind of transition from like rec to like competitive, like, you know, and obviously like, now you're playing competitive and everything like that. Can like, do you kind of give them like, hey, like, this is what's expected to you at the competitive level, like this is what you should focus on, like this is why you're playing competitive versus rec, all that?
I mean, yeah, we try and show them like what it would be like, give them that environment during trainings, whether that's the step up or just a, hey, like this is what to expect during trainings, at games, and just hope that they can adapt to it.
Yeah, and, you know, and one thing I noticed, like, Carter, is that like at like Richmond Goalkeeping Academy, like regardless whether you're like, you know, 7 years old or 17 years old, you're going through the same progressions in the phases. Like, it's not like things are like babied so that like, oh no, like the 8-year-olds, like they're going to be tossing a ball for an hour and a half. And like,
yeah,
you know,
with RGA, they do the same progressions and the same drills for all ages, and work everyone the same, like put everyone at the same difficulty and work everyone hard.
Do you think that like, Rachel, do you think that like helps you like when you're like moving up the levels at RGA, that you're like comfortable with like playing in possession, playing out of possession, distribution, all these different elements, as opposed to like this is all brand new to you because all you've been doing is like handling and footwork for 2 years?
Yeah, I definitely think that when people come in and they're new, it's really helpful when we do progressions, and then as you go up in levels, you keep going up, but you have those same progressions, but in different places in those drills.
Sarah, have you ever had like a situation where like a player, like a young player, has like gotten really down and like you've recognized it, and so you've like intentionally gone over to them to like try to figure out like what's wrong and how you can help?
Yeah, I mean, every single day you can see someone else that's struggling and have the opportunity to help them, and it's so important.
Yeah. So like do you think that like is there like a time and place, or do you think like it's your responsibility to kind of recognize it yourself as opposed to wait for them to come to you?
I think it's your responsibility to look for it, and I think it's also up to them if they want to go and ask for help and seek advice.
Yeah. Bella, how were you when you first came into the academy? Were you willing to seek out help, or was it something that you were like afraid to ask questions and you're just like, I'm just going to let myself be?
I was definitely more on the timid side. I didn't want to ask questions. I really was like, what's the word for it? Like, I was against help. Like, I didn't want help. I was always in my head, like anything Amanda would say to me, whether helpful or whether like that would make me more upset. Like, I didn't want to hear any of it. Like, I just wanted to be there for the hour and a half that I was there, and I just wanted to leave. But as I grew into the club and really learned to get out of my head and take that advice and grow from it, I've really been able to grow from advice.
By the way, you know what I feel like right now? I feel like we are straight up like, like when you go like a department store and they've got that piano, so that like people like there's something for them to like do while they're like shopping. Like they can listen to the music and stuff like that. Like we are basically like the window dressing while they're finishing breakdown. They're like, so if you don't have a box in your hand, like you can listen to them a little bit, you can look at them, you can wave, all that sort of stuff. Not saying we're like on display, but we're kind of on display.
Most important people.
We are the most important people. You guys are the most important people. I'm just in the middle here, and rocking my chair back and forth. By the way, this is a bad decision on my part because I could literally fall over if I do this. But the problem is that my seat was way too close. So hold on, wait. Nope, that doesn't work. All right, I'm just gonna have to keep pushing back like
I'll
this.
try to catch you,
Yeah, try to catch like this. So how old are you, Carter?
I'm 15 years old.
Okay, how old are you, Rachel?
I'm 14.
Okay, how old are you, Sarah?
I'm 17.
Okay.
And I'm 15.
Okay, so we got some people here who are starting out like the high school experience. You're a little bit more of a grizzled veteran, been through the ringer and all that stuff. So how, as now, an older high schooler, can actually help the other people in the leadership program progress to where you are?
I would say just work hard and take all the advice from all these amazing people around you.
It's kind of an awkward place to put you. They're literally right here, 3 of them right there. And you're like, there's no hope for them. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
Just work hard.
Yeah.
Y'all know it.
Yeah. So now obviously you guys are starting out the college recruiting process, because you're early on and everything like that. Sarah, you're a little bit farther along in that whole journey. What are you learning in the college recruiting process, Sarah, that can help them? These ones right here. And not just them, but like everybody listening, all the hundreds of thousands of people out here.
I would say just don't be afraid to get a no. Just send the email, get on a call, and just have a conversation. The worst that they can say is no, or that you're not a fit. And there's thousands of schools, so just keep looking.
There literally are thousands of schools. Honestly, there's so many different types of schools out there, and there's majors out there I didn't even know. I'm like, you can major in like Xbox. That's amazing. Like, there's so much stuff out there that you could do on PS5, but still, whatever. I understand why Xbox would be the major. So Carter, Rachel, Bella, have you guys started the recruiting process yet, or is that something that you're kind of looking at for coming fall?
I have not.
Okay,
but I'm hoping to this year.
Okay, cool. What about you, Rachel?
My mom and I've started to set up profiles and stuff so that kids can look at me. I've got a lot of invites to ID camps that I will hopefully go to this winter. So yeah.
Nice.
I've looked at colleges. I've looked at ID camps. I haven't gone to one yet, but I'm starting to put myself out there a little bit.
She's just browsing. She's just browsing, guys.
No.
Yeah.
Next.
she's like, it's in my shopping cart, but like that's like for later, that type of thing. No, but I think honestly, like you guys, like the leadership program, I think being in a leadership situation like this, I think helps you prepare to reach out to college coaches, because like you're comfortable speaking out now, and you're comfortable like, kind of like putting your thoughts together in a way. And honestly, you guys are bringing a lot to the table outside of just, like, let's be honest, you know how many college coaches like can find goalkeepers that can stop shots and handle crosses, but how many goalkeeper coaches can find like players to go to college that like understand what it's like to be a leader, how to communicate clear, concise, and direct, all that stuff. Carter's looking at me. He's like, yeah, I guess I can do that. I don't know. maybe I can do that. I want to talk about this because, and then guys, thank you. I know you guys are really tired. I know it's been a long day. So whenever you guys are just like, hey, dude, wrap it up, you can do that. You can just do this. You can give me the light, and we can wrap it all up. But I kind of want to ask you, like, as we start wrapping everything up right here, like, what is like some advice you could give to, like, let's say a young 8-year-old Bella is out there watching right now, to just starting out and getting in a goalkeeping environment. Like, what would be the bullet points you would give her?
I would tell her to take all the advice you get, and even though you want to be the best, you're not going to be in the beginning. And I would say, I don't know, I would just
already showing the leadership. I see it. It's coming right through.
I would tell her to believe in herself and let herself try new things, because I was really scared to do that in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that the like trying new things is the scariest thing for anybody, honestly. Like, yeah. I didn't even know I liked Indian food until like a couple of years ago, because I just thought it looked. I was like I don't like curry. They're like, why do you not like curry? I'm like, I had this curry salad when I was like in 4th grade, and it's like a PTSD. And they're like, dude, what kind of curry was it? I was like, oh, there's different types of curry. They're like, all right, you need to try Indian food again. Sarah, Bob, what about you?
I would tell my younger self just to be confident, use your voice, and just have fun with it. You don't have many years that you can do this.
Jeez, spoken like a grizzled veteran. You realize the way Sarah said that? Straight up sounded like she's like, look, I've got like a hip replacement coming up now, and need new knees. I let the young kids dive around, but like my warm-ups are really more about stretching and like staying, injury prevention. Really, at my age, you'll know what I'm talking about, Bella, when you're there 2 years from now. You'll know. What about you, Rachel?
I think I would tell her just to like get out of her own head and be open to new things and new opportunities. And don't be afraid to make new friends, and try to take all the advice you can, like Bella said.
Oh, I love the new friends thing, because like I think a lot of young goalkeepers out there, especially when they come into an environment, and especially a lot of times when they come into a club environment, like they don't know any of these field players, because they're like from different schools or whatever, and almost those kids kind of look at them as like, I don't want to say like an outlier, but like a lot of programs have difficulty integrating goalkeepers and making them feel like they're part of the team. And I think that's why academies are so important, because you find a group of like-minded individuals. You're like, hey, you also have gloves that smell. I get you. I understand you. Carter, what about you?
I would say to my child self,
talk to your child self right over there.
Keep up with, just keep going.
Hold on, you got to look down though. He's not that tall yet.
Yeah, but keep going. Stay dedicated and go to every practice. Don't skip practices. Don't be that guy that just doesn't show up for 2 weeks. And
wait, did you used to do that? Like not show up?
There was a point. Yeah, because I didn't think I was gonna make it. Like as a goalkeeper.
Dude, but
dedicated.
That's awesome though, because a lot of the times I feel like, and if this is something that I want a lot of young goalkeepers out there to hear, that is that like the way you're perceived by people might be different than actually how you feel inside. And that's why it's important for you guys as leaders to find out what's really going on with that 8-year-old. What's really going on with that 9-year-old? Is it like that they don't want to try, or is it that like they're scared they're going to fail? And they figured if they don't try, at least they don't fail. Like there's so many different little things going on in their little heads, because you got to look down at them. They're little. They're down there. Although some of the little ones here, they're like, I'm like,
I gotta look up at them.
they're grizzled veterans. I'm not. Did you see that? Who was the one girl in the Big Bird game, the little one, yesterday? She had her little gloves on and she was doing the 1v1. Her shape was like better than mine. I was like, I'm like gonna use you as an example. Like when I was watching, do you guys know who I'm talking about? There was like a little one yesterday. Yeah. Okay. You're like, we're not going to name her here, but yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys taking all the time. Let's see here. I would tell you guys right now, this is usually the time on the show that I would tell you guys to start plugging like your camps, your own camps, your like e-courses, your master classes, all that stuff. But I'm guessing that you guys aren't at that point in your coaching journey. Yeah. You don't have your 78-page ebook yet, Bella? No. Really? That's
in the works though. Don't worry.
It's in the works. Well, hopefully you guys, hopefully I'll see you guys on the Union GK app, and people like yourselves is what we're looking for to get involved in mentoring programs and stuff like that, so we can connect after this. Honestly, guys, if you want to reach out to us, it's obviously at Goalkeeper Podcast on the Union GK app, or contact at insidethe18media.com if you have a guest suggestion or a topic suggestion. Shout out to all you people around the world who said, we have to have Bella, Sarah, Rachel, and Carter on the show. We've been waiting to hear from them. No, honestly, all joking aside, it's really refreshing to get new voices that I might not know, if it weren't for coming out here. So really, really appreciate that. All right, guys, that's all the time on Inside the 18, and we are out. Later, guys. Cool. And... I guess you wanted to get them on. Is that cool? Okay, cool.
Hey.
All right, guys, hop on in.
No way you're gonna do a D-line at that camera right now.
I barely have a voice left, so don't worry. It won't be that long.
All right. Yeah, Jeff, you got the headset.
All right, yeah.
I get the mic. I got you.
We'll do levels here. All right. All right, let's we'll get this going. Look at Jeff, dude.
So wild.
Trev. Look at Ryan. Love it, dude. Cool. Ev. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's get this going again. Here Welcome to Inside the 18. I'm Michael Magid, once more from Richmond Goalkeeping Academy, with the very last bit of voice that I have left after 4 days at Richmond Goalkeeping Academy. It's been very successful here, and one of the reasons why it's been so successful here is because of people like this who haven't slept just like me in the last 4 days. I think all of us together have probably gotten 6 hours of sleep at the most. Guys, obviously we're talking about people who are not only Richmond Goalkeeping Academy staff, but they actually came through the program themselves. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves to the hundreds of thousands of people that are watching right now on this Mevo camera that looks like I stole it. Go ahead, Ev.
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm Evan. I've been with RGA for 6 years, I think, and I'm a part of the leadership team.
Love it.
I'm Ryan. Been with RGA for 8 years. One of the longest goalkeepers that have been in the academy. Coach now. Used to be part of the leadership team. Yeah.
Nice.
My name is Trevor. Unlike the rest of them, I drive 2 hours to practice up here in Richmond. But I've been with RGA for about 6 years, and now I'm coaching with RGA after I just graduated last year.
By the way, I'm glad the fact that both Trevor and I talked, because I was really concerned people thought we were just sleeping because we both got the sunglasses on like this. Yeah.
I'm Jeff. Unlike the others, I had the pleasure of being coached by Amanda at my college at Longwood University, and then I reached out to her to follow through with her RGA coaching internship over the summer. I graduated from that, and now I am helping coach the goalkeepers at Longwood.
So I want to talk a little bit about that, because a lot of you guys are now coaching, and that transition from academy member to become a coach is such an interesting transition. So like, obviously, Ryan, you're coaching quite a bit now. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So one main advantage with that is that you really know the culture. And outside of just technical aspects of coaching, you know what you want the kids to, like, you know, the attitude that you expect from the kids, you know how you expect them to behave. And that's just a huge part of just being able to get stuff done around here. Like building that culture and building a winning culture where you're all here to build each other up. You're not tearing each other down. It's also huge, and you learn a lot more.
Yeah, and guys, feel free to step in anytime. Like, you don't have to wait for me to ask a question or anything like that. Like, if there's something that like pops in your head, you're like to add on to that, or like whatever you want. But Jeff, obviously, you know, you have the experience of now, like, you know, you're coached by Amanda, and now you're coaching at the same school where Amanda used to coach you. That's an interesting animal in itself.
It's really nice. With Amanda being at Longwood, we were able to see the type of culture and how she wanted to hold us accountable and all of our teammates. It wasn't just the goalkeeper union, but how can we use what she taught us and use for the rest of the team. And it was interesting going from a teammate to a coach with even your own friends within my program. Everybody is very positive about it. It was interesting, to say the least, but they're keeping the same culture. I knew what everybody needed to be done. Everybody had the same idea, and we've strived so far.
So, you know, speaking of that, like, Trevor, you've been very, very involved, you know, in putting together this entire, you know, clinic, the Keeper Wars, everything like that this week. Is that sometimes a little bit difficult because you're like, I'm still looking at these people as like my elders, but now they're actually my peers because I'm working with them together?
Sort of not. I mean, I still see Coach Amanda as my coach. I train with her when I can. Same with Jeff and even Ryan, but they've become more of friends now than they have coaches, but they still have that same respect that they will always have for me.
Yeah. You know, well, one thing that's really cool about like the whole leadership program experience is a lot of people go like, oh, that's really great for people. They want to play college and they want to be pros and all that stuff. But like, Ev, you decided that this is not the journey that you wanted to continue on in regards to from a playing career standpoint or a coaching career standpoint, but yet you're still here. Like, why is that?
Yeah, I just like love seeing the kids just like grow up and like learn leadership. So like, just like me, like I never seen myself playing in college. So like my time as a goalkeeper is like basically done. But like everything I learned in the academy is still like relevant in my life. Like I'll do like group projects in college where I'll have to be like a leader. Like I'll have to step up. And like I didn't learn that from like nobody. Like that came from RGA and like being on the leadership team. So like being a goalie is like temporary, but like the lessons like you'll learn like to get on the leadership team will be like forever.
I feel like, you know, Ryan, obviously, you know, you're coaching a lot. Like, I feel like that's really difficult to stress to young players because like they're so myopic in their viewpoint. Like they're just looking at it from like me playing right now and starting this weekend. Like it's all I care about right now. But like we need to find, as coaches, we need to find a way through to like organically, without them knowing it, teach them these life skills.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's really important. That's the main reason similar journey to Evan. I had an idea of playing college soccer. I didn't really want to step through with it just for many reasons, but I still learned so many important lessons about myself, about how I should behave, how I should lead, how I should get things done. And that's something that is like, it has to come organically. Like you can't just tell someone to go do something. You have to kind of lead them to it. You have to let them find their own conclusions and finding these life skills. And that's why goalkeeping is for me just so important.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's interesting that you said that because, like, I mean, like, not to put Jeff on the spot here or myself on the spot here or any of the vertically challenged goalkeepers in the world out there, but like, if we don't take a leadership position, we're not respected immediately by not only our team but the other team.
Exactly. I know growing up, I had even my own coach. I mean, with my coaches they've been very, very strict and very honest. I had my coach tell me when I was in my youth that you're not going to play D1 with your height, or you're not going to just play in general if you go Division I. And I kind of had to accept that. I knew that going into Longwood, it was going to be a big fight for me to get playing time. And I didn't get much of competition playing time until my senior year. But going through that process, I realized how much I needed to put forth.
That's because, like, with the beard now and the shaved head, they thought you were like 30. So they're like, dude, we have like a man on the team right here. I think this guy should just play against children.
My bad. I didn't mean to go so hard on playing in goalkeeper wars. But I know going through my development, it was definitely a strong focus of mine to have a presence, even with my youth, though I struggled with height and reaching to the top corners. But I had my presence. I was able to direct and organize and kind of stand out and be the loudest, but also the most helpful with my back line or forwards.
Yeah. Trev, I want to talk about this. Obviously, you spent some time, in a reserve position, in school. And, that's a difficult thing because you're like, how can I still be a leader? How can I still be a positive role model for the team, even though I'm not being looked at as somebody who's an immediate impact on the team from a playing standpoint? So how do you do that?
My biggest thing is that I just try to encourage my teammates as much as I can. Like, it's important to accept that role and know what my role is so I can push the team further and further along as we go through the season, possibly break into it, and help the team whenever it's needed.
I mean, I think that's one of the real difficult things, Ryan, like when you're coaching, is like when you see a goalkeeper and you're like, they're just not the right profile for what I need to play right now, but they have a lot of other intangibles that are going to be great for my team. How do I help them understand that this is not a slight against them?
Yeah, I think that's a really big factor when you're the number 2, you're the number 3. It's like, okay, where can I live in my strengths? Where can I work on my weaknesses? But where can I emphasize that, like, okay, maybe my current role in the team, maybe I'm really good with my feet, but we're a more set piece focusing team. I want the goalkeepers, say, if I'm shorter, I want my goalkeeper coming out cleaning crosses. Well, I'm not going to be good at that. But I can play with my feet good. So it's like, okay, how do I adapt to a system that doesn't really suit me? How do I not take it personally as well? That's another thing we really learn here. It's like, there's times where it's not your fault, and you just got to kind of live with that and grow with it and be able to accept it.
That's the hardest thing. Like, I mean, like, Ev, I mean, you've gone through this whole program and everything like that. It's like, it's really hard sometimes for you to like understand that, like, because I was talking about this with the younger leadership people earlier, is that, like, I go through the dance after I get scored on where, like, I start, like, moving. Like, I'm like, when the ball's up the field, I'm like, I should have stepped this way and stepped that way or whatever. And that's just unhealthy, like, from a mental health standpoint, because now I'm not invested in what's actually going on right now, and like, so, like, how do you help these goalkeepers, like, recognize that, like, hey, it's going to happen. You're going to get scored on, especially in an academy environment where there's going to be shots after shots after shots after shots. Doesn't mean you're bad.
Yeah, I'll just tell them, like, the job isn't to be perfect. It's just to get 1% better every day. So, like, we had a clinic yesterday, and after the clinic, like, I was looking at the bottom group 5, and I was just like, they all seemed super bummed after the camp. I'm like, guys, like, what'd you learn today? And each of them, like, named, like, one thing, and I was just like, you got 1% better at that. Like, the point of this camp or this clinic isn't to get perfect. There's no point in getting perfect at anything, because even, like, the pros, like, they'll let in a goal, like, that means they're not perfect. So there's no point in, like, trying to, like, get yourself at this, like, unreachable that, like, they're trying to get to, which is, like, a crazy standpoint. So I'm just, like, trying to tell them that you got 1% better. That means you're getting better than most people. Like, I bet there's, like, some keepers on the couch right now that are, like, not doing anything, just like not training. They're just, like, on the couch.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, trying to, like, tell them, like, you're out here getting better. So that's, like, all you really need to know.
Yeah. Do you want to ask something? Yeah. Look at that, stepping in without a question. Love it.
One big, like, analogy that I was really focusing on was, like, how are you going to drive when you're just looking in the rearview mirror? You can't think about the last thing that happened. You're going to crash if you're just looking in your rearview mirror, right?
Dude, can you send me that? I need to look at that quote straight up, like, all the time.
So it's a simple analogy, but once you piece it together, it really makes sense. It's like, you're not going to be able to succeed if you keep living in the past, keep focusing on your mistakes. And that's one thing that we try and teach them here, is just like, hey, you got to move on.
And like, I think, one of the most difficult things, dude, I was using this example, I think, earlier on, when I had the I think it was Samantha and Marissa and Amanda on and everything like that. We were talking about the Matt Turner, the vitriol I'm seeing on social media about, the action that happened yesterday for Nottingham Forest against Spurs. And the thing is like, as goalkeepers, I mean, it's a little bit more prevalent for you dealing with college goalkeepers, because, like, they're more in the public eye, like the local paper, like the student body, the other team's fans, all that sort of stuff. How do you help them push that all aside and recognize that like it's only going to affect them negatively if they even look at it.
So one of the big things that I try to push on my keepers, or even any younger keeper that's been playing for a series of time, I'll ask them, be like, listen, tell me how long that you've played. And if you tell me how many years, months, so forth, tell me or look back to how you were in the beginning. You've been playing, you've had hundreds, if not maybe even 1,000 practices. You've done this every day. You see it as a hobby. You get fun out of it. Take it as another training. Take it as another fun practice with your friends. I mean, don't try to stress too much on yourself. I know that we might have made a mistake, but it's another day at the office. I mean, you're not going to have perfect days every single day. You might have a few good days in a row and then have one bad one and then be like, man, what's happening to me? But it's just part of the process.
And Trev, I would say like from a mental health standpoint, like that's the most difficult when you're a number 2 or a number 3, because you're like every rep you feel is like an audition, right?
Yeah, like most of the practice for me was like I had to treat it like a game. I had to treat everything like a game so I could show the coaches that I was ready for that spot, like ready to get in there. But going back to like Jeff said practicing every day, like I know I went through that when I was doing club soccer. Like me coming up, I started out playing center back and then switched to goalkeeper. I've been playing goalkeeper since I was 10. I've been doing keeper practice since I was 10. I got to the point where I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But, I kept on going. I just kept on going to practice, try and tough it out. And eventually it got better. Everything started working out for me. So met Amanda. Everything started working out for me. So it was good.
Yeah. Evan, I want to ask you, because obviously, you have a lot of experience with the younger ones here. Like, how do you keep it fun for them, but still make them want more from their journey?
I would just say like bring a lot of energy to the trainings, because like if you're just like sitting there and just being like, all right, time to go through the drill, they're just gonna go through the drill and not get anything back. But if you're like really excited to coach them, which I am, like whenever I go to coach them, I'm like, I can't wait for them to get better. And like once they make the big save and you like start like yelling, be like, let's go, like I can't believe you made the save. Like, because I just remember like when I was like a young player and like when my coach would like say that, I'd just be like, oh, I can't wait to get to that moment again. Like that moment, or like even like the big save in the game, like nothing will compare to that moment when everyone like starts like clapping and like everyone comes to you like after game, like that save like saved the game. Like I can't believe you made that. That's crazy. That's like the same thing I like try to like make in practice. Like you're allowed to like be goofy and like have fun. Like the point of training isn't to like be serious the entire time.
I love what you just said right there. And honestly, like it's like every coach is gonna have a different profile. And like I know, Ryan, like when players come to my environment and they came from a coach that's like more like serious or reserved or whatever, they don't know how to react around it. Like I mean, like even like yesterday with with the introductions, and like I said something self-deprecating and kids were just like looking at me and I'm like that was like sarcasm, right? That was like a joke. But because they're unfamiliar with me, they don't know how to be comfortable with that, because like they're not used to that. So how do we take a player who's from a different environment than your environment and make them feel at home and make them work in your environment?
Yeah. One big thing, like Evan said earlier, is the energy, like especially with the younger players. But I've seen it with older players as well. Bringing energy, being yourself around them, like lets you know that, oh, okay, I can be comfortable here. I can be myself too. It's like I don't have to hide parts of myself. I know it's okay just to act organically. And that's when really it's that you get that snowball kind of rolling. That's where you see the biggest effect and the best outcome.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point right there, and like every goalkeeper's different, man. Like, I mean, Jeff, this, like coaching in the college environment, like you've got 3 goalkeepers and one dude might be like the kind of guy that's going to wear like a leopard skin pants and do cartwheels, like, at warm-ups. And then you got the other one who like shows up in his socks is like right up here and everything's like tucked in proper. And that's just how they are. They're like very meticulous. And then you got another goalkeeper who's just like, a kind of in between the two of them, and like, you got to find a way to make that session work for all of them, so that like they can all get something out of it, which is very difficult at the collegiate level.
It's definitely an adjustment period. What I had to learn with my youth growing up and the way that I was taught, my training sessions were very cutthroat. I wouldn't want to say military-esque, but it was, this is a business, this is work, we're going to attack it, and you're going to do it this way.
And you're like, I'm 7. So
yeah, I was definitely young, and I was like, but I liked it. Looking back on it, I'm very happy with the way that I was growing up and how I was trained. And then with the way that Amanda taught me in college, I was like, all right, this is different. How can I adjust to be more of an open person to everybody? And that kind of goes down to the roles of the 1, 2, and 3. The freshman might come in and be like, all right, like I'm expecting to get this time, or I have this ego or attitude or idea of themselves, but they take a step back once it comes to, oh, like I'm not seen this way anymore. And that's what I had to do as well.
Yeah.
So finding that open arm, or hey, we all have a job to do, but we're all here for each other. It's not going to be, I'm only going to focus on myself getting to the number 1, but while you're there, how can you help me and I help you to be the best that we can?
You know, one thing I love about this podcast right here is that we've had 3 different age groups of leaders that have come through this academy. We had the youngest leadership group here. We had like our middle, like older high school group, and then we have you guys, either in college or post college, beginning your coaching career. And it's just amazing to see the progression, because it's almost like you're seeing the journey, you guys watching at home, you're seeing the journey of how everything kind of comes together. And now there's another step after you guys, which is like the Amanda level, like once you've been doing it for a long time, sort of thing. So like Ryan, obviously, you're involved a lot in coaching. Like, how do you use mentors like an Amanda, or older coaches who've been doing it longer to help you become a better leader?
A lot of it's just watching and learning for me. And it was also going back to my days as a goalkeeper in this academy, focusing on what made me feel good, what maybe I didn't like, kind of taking aspects of that and applying it to my coaching game, for example, because at least professionally, I'm aiming to become a physical therapist, right? And so it's still
great, dude, because my lower back, I'm not okay.
See me in 4 years and I'll talk to you.
Yeah. My favorite, there was like earlier, there was like a 17-year-old girl she was talking about. She's like, oh, when you start getting these ailments that, as an older goalkeeper, I'm like, dude, you're already talking that way. You sound like you're 45. Okay. Continue.
But yeah, it's more about like taking things, watching and learning, and then just being not afraid to ask. It's like, hey, it's okay to make mistakes. It's like, it's the same thing on the field.
Yeah.
You got to be able to make mistakes coaching. You're not going to get better if you don't. You realize you're going to say things that don't work for some people. You're going to do things that don't work for some people, and you just got to figure out how you want to work around that, how you can read people better, and just kind of how you can improve.
Yeah. Evan, what do you just kind of, as we start wrapping this up here, guys, I appreciate you guys taking all this time. I know we've literally been going for 30 hours straight. So my goal is that we have to go over an hour every podcast, or it's not a real podcast. So I'm just looking at the clock right here. We could literally just sit here like this. But working with the younger ones, how do you like work and make it work for, because you're always going to have that awesome like baller at like 8 who like gets it all. And how do you make it still challenging for them, yet not like over complicated for the other goalkeepers? Do you just need to move them up? Is that just what it is? It's like, hey, you need to go to a higher environment?
Not all the time.
Okay.
In some scenarios, like, yeah, you gotta move them up, like if their mouse better, but like other times it's like more of a challenge for like them to be a leader. Like sometimes you can't move them up if they're just like the quiet kid that's like not gonna do anything. If they're not gonna add anything to these higher age groups, they're gonna like take away more energy than like it's like willing to like give to other people. So like once their ability to lead is like at a certain level, it's like easier to move them up, because like at the higher levels, like people are gonna be talking, and like if you're not talking, you're gonna be taking away from the energy that a lot of everyone else is giving. So I think that's what.
No, that makes perfect sense. And I sometimes, like, if you take away that player, you're putting them in an environment where now they're going to be the lowest rung, so they never got that experience of being the leader, kind of showing the others how it's done, whether it's actually doing it or verbalizing it. Now, so that's such a really good point. as we finish this all up right here, guys, I just want everybody to kind of just give a few bullet points to young coaches out there who are beginning their journey. Maybe some things that resonated with you, or some advice you would give yourself when you first started your journey. Jeff, starting with you.
My first one would be patient. It's no different than the journey of being a player,
Yeah.
the same way as being a coach. The next one is you might be a great player, but that won't mean you'll be a great coach. So enjoy that new process. My last point I would say is enjoy being uncomfortable. Try to get uncomfortable, or try to get comfortable being uncomfortable. With Evan, he's great with kids. You're great with the younger age groups of coaching them and bringing more joy or getting them high energy. That's something my biggest struggle, and it's something that I'm working on. I haven't had young kids around me in my life, or haven't coached younger age groups. So to me, it's a whole new audience, and it's something.
The beard says you have an 18-year-old at home. No,
I'm 22. I hope not. But it's a new audience. So I'm uncomfortable with it, but I'm enjoying the process of trying to get better.
Okay, Jeff.
I think my biggest thing when I first started coaching was try and find what you sort of like doing and stick to it, make it better, and then keep pushing yourself to find and break those new boundaries. Just as Jeff said, push yourself, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And once you do that, you'll become a whole lot better than you would ever think you would be. So
nice. Ryan?
For me, the big one is understand the why behind what you're doing. Like, know the drill inside and out, and know what this does in a game, how you're going to be able to apply this to a game, and be able to explain that to a goalkeeper. Help them not play the drill, play it like a game. That's the best thing that I could say, is make sure they're not just going through the motions in a practice. They're actually applying this to how they would act in a real game.
Man, I know some people who are so good at practice, like they're so good at playing practice, like because they never learned how to play the game. They just know how to play practice. So like college ID camps, doing awesome in the drills, they go in the games, like no positional awareness, no understanding where to distribute the ball, no possession to out of possession, any of that sort of stuff. So I think it's any young coaches out there listening, like you got to listen to what Ryan's saying right there. It's like if you can't teach them the game, you're doing them a disservice when they get to that next level. Ev, we'll wrap with you. Energy, right? Okay.
Basically, like the main point, like bullet point I'd like give like a new coach that's like never coached before is have fun. If you're not going to have fun, then the kid's going to have such a terrible time and they're not going to learn anything. So I would just say, like, if you coach and don't enjoy it, or like if you have a session coming up and you're not like hoping to like go to it, then there's like no point in going to it or like even training. So it's just like down to the person. So if you like coach a couple times and you don't enjoy it, please don't do it, because like you're just like ruining the kid's experience like when you're coaching.
Yeah. If you hate coaching, don't do it, guys.
Yeah.
Don't
do it if you hate it. Okay.
By the way, there's no reason to do this if you don't like it. Like, honestly, it's not worth it. Not worth doing it. If you don't. Oh, what did I just do? Dude, look at that. I literally jinxed everything by saying that somebody was like really not happy with what I just said right there. So they kicked that off, that guy. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up right now. Obviously, guys, if you want to reach out to us, it's contact at InsideThe18Media.com. If you have a guest suggestion or a topic suggestion, or at Goalkeeper Podcast on the Union Goalkeeper app. Doing a lot of different mentoring things on the Union Goalkeeper app. So I really want you guys to check all that stuff out. Check out the parents group out there. People like these people right here. These are the type of people that we want to get into these types of programs. So maybe we'll talk about how you guys can get incorporated and stuff like that. But I loved a lot of what you guys are saying, and not just because you're sitting right next to me, but because I actually liked what you guys had to say. All right, guys, that's all the time on Inside the 18. I'm going to rest my voice. We're out. Later.